Hello, wonderful women. Welcome back to the Nourish by Claudia channel. And here I am today to discuss the three things that I normally see with my clients that are delaying their recovery process, and that makes it much harder for them to get the period back. Some of the things that I'm going to share today are pretty straightforward. Others that they're really going to make you feel quite icky, possibly because it's going to really switch on your brain and make you think, oh my goodness, I'm really not helping myself during this process. So without further ado, let's discuss the three things that could be a game changer for you. The first one that I'm going to list, obviously, because I'm a nutrition and dietetic clinician, is the inadequate caloric intake. So if your body isn't receiving enough calories to support its basic functions and energy expenditure, it's going to prioritize survival over reproductive functions. I'm going to say it again. So if there is not enough energy going around, your body's going to prioritize survival over reproductive functions. And this is going to lead to delayed period recovery. This is very common in individuals with restrictive eating habits, excessive exercise without proper fueling. So athletes normally, but also the normal person that goes to the gym at 5 a.m. to have a fasted workout and really doesn't nourish yourself post-training, or those who are unintentionally under eating. And that's really important. It's really key for you to understand that possibly you are unintentionally overeating because you are so dedicated to get your period back, but you're still relying on your hunger cues. And if you come from a place of restriction, and if you come from a place of undernourishment, it's very possible that your hunger cues are skewed at the moment, and what you are consuming on a day-to-day is actually not enough to support your body basic function. Another things that I would like to touch upon is excessive or intensive exercise. So moderate exercise is beneficial. I never ask a client of mine to completely stop moving unless it's coming from them, unless it's coming from a place of wanting to try it out and without having any anxiety attached to it. So I do believe that moderate exercise, and moderate is very different for each and every individual. So don't compare yourself with others on the internet. But so while I think that some form of exercise is beneficial, excessive or high intensity exercise without adequate recovery and nutrition can lead to an energy deficit and stress in the body. And this one, once again, is going to lead to a delayed period recovery. Now, how much is too much exercise? If you really want to dive deep into this topic, I really recommend you to watch my videos where I discuss what are the worst type of exercise in HA recovery, and where I make suggestions in how to train to recover your period at a much faster pace. So until now, we have just uncovered that it's really important for you to fuel your body properly and to really manage your workout routine so that you're not undernourishing yourself while overtraining. Now, does that apply also to women with a normal BMI? And if you have been listening to these videos for a little bit longer than a minute, you may know that I'm not a big fan of BMI because it's really a tool that it was invented by mistake, realistically speaking, and it doesn't say anything about a person's health. But if you're relying on that, and if you're coming to me and say, hey, Claudia, my BMI is 23 or 24, whatever that is, do you think that this still applies to me? And my answer is absolutely yes. And whenever I work with a client, I always look at their personal circumstances, and I normally find out the reasons why the reproductive system is still switched off. Does that mean that sometimes people are very resistant in making changes? Absolutely yes, but that's something else that we can unpack on a completely different video. A second thing that I really see that it's impacting women to make changes and to recover from hypothalamic amenorrhea and to improve their fertility and egg quality is the high level of stress. So chronic stress can disrupt the HPA axis, which is the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, leading to imbalances in hormones like cortisol. So what happens in the body? When cortisol is elevated, it does suppress reproductive hormones, particularly gonadotropin releasing hormones, which is the one that is in charge to produce FSH and LH, and it's essential for the menstrual cycle. So now you have an understanding from a biology standpoint on how stress can really impact your menstrual cycle by elevating cortisol and suppressing the release of FSH, LH, and then ultimately estrogen and progesterone. Now you may say, Claudia, I'm not really that stressed, like my work is pretty cruisy, I'm trying to sleep 7 hours per night. But the reality is that stress can also hide in many different forms. So for example, you could be slightly stressed because you don't have a period yet. You may have some stressful thoughts in regards to your food intake, or maybe the relationship with your husband or with a boyfriend or with your mom or sister. Or sometimes it can also be the type of stress that you're not really seeing or perceiving, which for the body, and the body doesn't really make a difference between a stress that you can actually perceive to a stress that is perceived only by the body. So what am I telling you right here? Going to the gym 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., depending on when you wake up. As soon as you wake up on a fasted stomach with a high level of caffeine in your body is definitely perceived as stress for your organs and for your reproductive system. Going to work on a Monday and seeing 100 emails just waiting for a response, that's a stressor as well. Having 3 celebrations on a single weekend and being completely depleted and tired because of a very busy week, that's another stressor for the body. So, there are many different things that can play a part in your stress perception and your recovery from hypothalamic amenorrhea. So once again, I would really encourage you to identify if there is any stress present in your life and what you can do to actually minimize it. And the third thing that I would like to share with you today is actually not asking for support. I have found that when women ask for guidance and ask for support, even though they have been trying and doing the same thing over and over and over for many months, they can actually see results at a much faster pace. Why is that? Because as I just mentioned, it's very possible that you've been stuck in quasi-recovery for 1 year, or maybe even a couple of years, or that you have been trying to do all the same thing on your own. So you have increased your body weight by some percentage, maybe 2%, 3%. You have started to eat a little bit more, you have changed your training routine, maybe you have stopped it completely, maybe you have done it for 2 months, 6 months, maybe you have tried some medications, maybe you have tried some supplements, maybe you have tried different therapies. And 1 year down the track, you may feel that you've been stuck in quasi-recovery for the longest time and you're completely burnt out. You spent so much money in trying different things that didn't give you any practical results, and you're at a place where you're completely exhausted because you may be thinking, this is not going to work out for me. Everyone else is going to get the period back except for me, which is absolutely not the case. And I'm going to give you just a couple of examples of 2 women that just got the period back and got pregnant over the past months here at the Period Comeback Protocol. The first one, she came to me completely exhausted, in full burnout, after not only having hypothalamic amenorrhea for 3 years, but also trying 8 failed IVF cycles. When she jumped on a call with me, she basically cried for 40 minutes. She couldn't take it anymore. And just the actual fact of talking to someone about it just made her feel better 20%. Her recovery had started simply by sharing her story with someone that absolutely got what she was going through and knew what she needed to say at that very moment. So lo and behold, within 3 months, she got her first period back. She got consecutive periods for 6 months within 28 to 35 days. And she got pregnant naturally just this month, basically. And this is success story number 1. So even though you think that you may have tried everything, and even though if you have tried IVF and if you have seen a fertility specialist, there may be other things that are going on in your body, which is why you're not getting your period back. The second woman that I really would like to talk about is Christina. She started a recovery journey in December by seeing this very Instagram famous professional. She got some direction from her and she followed them for 3 months without seeing any results. When she jumped on a call with me, she didn't have that much trust that I could make a difference. And I'm going to be completely honest here because I'm all about transparency. She didn't trust that I could make a difference. She didn't trust that she could get her period back. So what we did together was definitely tweaking a few changes in terms of her nutrition and her fitness level. But more than anything, we work on the mindset, body image, and accountability and community. And once again, lo and behold, when within the 3 months in the period came back protocol, she managed to get her first period back. And today I got another message because she got her second period within a 28 days windows. So it's definitely success under all front. So if you have been in a place of not knowing what to do, or feeling absolutely exhausted, burnout about this recovery roller coaster, I really recommend you to simply apply to coaching. Work with us. We are a wonderful team. We have a wonderful community, and we are all about customized approach and treatment plans. So if this 2024 is your last year with hypothalamic amenorrhea, just make sure to book in a spot. We are filling up all the places in October. We are just opening now the places for November. So if you would like to get started sooner rather than later, please get in touch with us. Bye for now.